Part 1, percentage. You will find this on page 126 in the Namibian Mathematics Grade 8 textbook, y equals mx plus c to success. Let's look at the introduction. A percentage is a fraction with 100 as the denominator. The word percent is created from the Latin phrase per centum, meaning per 100 or out of every 100. We often see advertisements which carry phrases like clearance sale, up to 75% off. 75% is an example of a percentage. The symbol percent is used to represent percent. Thus, 75% is read as 75% and represents the fraction 75 out of 100. So a percentage 1 out of 100. Now, percentage, fractions and decimals. Percentage, fractions and decimals are just different ways of showing the same value. So let's look here, look at the table. Let's look at the fraction, a vulgar fraction, a half. If I have a pizza, that will be half of the pizza. If I want to take this half and make it a decimal, it will be 0.5. So on a number line, it will be between 0 and 1 and exactly in the middle. And if I want to take this half or 0.5 and make it a percentage, I can use a grid, a 10 by 10 grid. That gives me 100 small blocks. And if I shade half of that, 50 of that small blocks, that will represent 50%. Remember, a half is equal to 0.5 is equal to 50%. Convert between common fractions, decimals and percentage. Now in chapter 2, we converted between fractions and decimals. Now, to convert a decimal fraction to a percentage, just multiply by 100%. The easiest way to multiply by 100 is to move the decimal point 2 places to the right, then keep the percentage sign in the answer. To convert a percentage to a decimal fraction, to convert from percentage back to a decimal, write the percentage sign as a denominator of 100. The easiest way to divide by 100 is to move the decimal point 2 places to the left. So the reverse of right will be to the left. Now, the following table will help you with the conversion between the different forms of fractions. Now remember, in chapter 2 we already did this part. So we just extend the table to this part. So can you remember, if we went from a vulgar to a decimal, we can just use a calculator and press 1 divide 8 and that will give you 0.125. But now, if I want to take this decimal and make it a percentage, I will multiply by 100%. And that will give me 12.5%. Now, if I want to reverse back, what is the reverse of multiply 100? That will be divide 100. So 12.5 divide 100 is 0.125. And then, can you still remember this table? If there was one decimal point, like 0.2, I take that decimal digit and I put it over 10. And then I simplify it. Can you remember? You can use ABC or you can say divide 2 and you will get 1 over 5. If there was 2 decimal places, 2 digits after the decimal point, then I will put it over 100. And again, use your calculator or say divide 5. And if there was 3 decimal places, I will put it over 1,000. So 245 over 1,000. And again, I simplify it to the simplest form. Okay, now how will I do with this one? If I have, for example, 0.125, I just take the 125. Remember how many decimal places? 1, 2, 3. So I put it over 1,000, 3 zeros. And now I must simplify. Without a calculator, we can do this. I divide 5 and I divide 5. And that will give me 25 over 200. But it can still simplify. Divide 5, divide 5. And that will give me 5 over 40. And then again, divide 5. And that will give me 1 over 8. And that's the simplest form. Or on your calculator, You press 125, look for that A, B, C key, press it, press 1000 and press equal. And your calculator will display 1, which is actually just meaning 1/8. In the next part, we will do a few examples and use this table.